Ross here from Own Fit. So today I'm going to do a quick video on uh, helping you to understand how to calculate how much food you should be eating in any given day, and what types of food you need to be eating to help you reach your goals. Um, so I suppose basically the first thing is to explain why I'm doing the video, and what has caused me to kind of want to put these ideas out there. I suppose the biggest thing really is seeing the fall off from our last members challenge, and seeing the rebound in some people that maybe they were overly strict for 6 weeks and then they totally indulged once the 6 weeks was over, and it's a massive rebound. And in some people it could be that they're further back now than they were before they started the challenge. And sometimes you have a goal that you really want to smash it for 6 weeks because you have something at the end of that 6 weeks. But the majority of the time we want to try and be consistent and keep our body in the shape we want it to be in year round or from month to month. Second big thing is education. So helping you to understand what to do and how to do it and why to do it. And that leads on to the next point in self-accountability, because ultimately myself or Brian or any of the trainers can give you as much advice as you want, but ultimately it's you control what goes into your mouth. It's you control what sessions you turn up to. So to see results, you need to be self-accountable, and you need to have that education so you can be self-accountable. The next thing is individuality. I'm just conscious that sometimes we can give advice that's very general to a 90 kg male who trains 6 times a week, or a 55 kg female who trains 3 times a week. So whereas they're going to need different dietary strategies because of their different body types and because of their different activity levels. So what I'm going to go through today helps to individualize what you eat based on your age, your height, your weight, and your activity level. Next thing is balance. So again, going back to the analogy I used from the members challenge, that we need to have balance and trying to reduce the peaks and troughs. And I suppose one big thing then that leads on to that we're all guilty of, I think it's at sometimes, is being a weekday warrior with our diet, being really low on calories, really eating well, and then at the weekend splurging, and we could eat more calories in 2 days at the weekend than we do in the 5 days of the week put together, and we're not going to make progress that way. And the next thing then is to allow people to have that balance. Obviously, you need to be able to eat some of the stuff you like from day to day. So eating using the guidelines that we're going to use from that we're going to go through here helps you to be flexible with what you eat from day to day, helping you to have a better chance of getting that balance. So what's this based on? So as I said, it's making it largely individual. So should a 90 kg male who trains 6 days a week have the same diet as a 60 kg female who trains 3 times a week? Obviously, using common sense, that doesn't make sense, okay? So when we look at it, we need to be able to differentiate by age, by your activity level, how many times you train a week, your current body weight, the body weight that you want to get to, your height, and another important thing then is dietary preferences. Some people prefer to eat higher carbohydrate, some people prefer to eat higher fat, and it's important that you're able to eat a certain extent to the way you like. So using the current calculator we use and the current guidelines we're going to use from now, it allows people to eat higher carb or higher fat depending on their preferences. So what's important? So simply weight loss is calories in versus calories out. So pretty simple. If you eat more calories in a day than you build through daily life and exercise, you want to put on weight. If you eat less calories, then if you eat more calories, then, or if you eat less calories than you put out through exercise and daily living, you're going to lose weight. Simple as that, okay? Now, there is some little bits and pieces that we need to bear in mind doing that, but that's the crux of it mainly, okay? So 3 main macronutrients. each macronutrient does different things for the body. So protein helps the muscle to repair. So obviously it's one of the most important ones with people who have a high training load, training 4 to 6 times a week. Protein is going to be really, really important. Carbohydrate provides energy for the body, so it's obviously going to be important as well, so we can get the max out of our sessions to help us get stronger and fitter. And it also has a big role in helping the muscle to repair. You can eat as much protein as you like, but if you don't have enough carbohydrate to help the protein to get to the working muscle, it's not going to work. Fat, then, you need a certain amount of fat in your diet to help boost metabolism. The big thing to be wary of with fat is that fat is higher in calories than protein or carbohydrate. So for every gram of protein or carbohydrate you eat, there's 4 calories in that. For every gram of fat that you eat in your diet, there's 9 calories in that. So that's why fat can get a bad rap sometimes. As I said, if you like eating high fat, this is manageable. You can eat higher fat, but it'll be lower carbohydrate. If you prefer eating high carbohydrate, you can do that, but it'll just be lower in fat. And again, the big thing, balance across all 3 is key. And again, as you're probably sick of hearing from us and from all the trainers, tracking is really important, because you can think you're eating 200 grams of protein in a day, whereas realistically you could only be eating 150. So you need to be able to track to really keep yourself accountable. Gives you a nice target to make sure you're within a certain amount of your attempted calories for that day, or attempted grams of protein, carbs or fats for that day. So tracking is really, really vital, and it can be a bit of a pain in the ass at the start, but once you get used to it, it becomes simple, and you learn so much by doing it. How much grams of fat are in a certain food, how many grams of protein are in a certain food, how many calories is in that food, how many calories is in my typical lunch. And it helps you so much in being able to plan your diet and plan your training to help you reach your goals. So next thing then is how to calculate. So we have a downloadable macronutrient calculator now that'll be on the Facebook group, and it'll be on the website for everybody to download, so they can do what I'm going to go through here in the next few minutes for themselves. So how I'm going to shape that for you today is we're going to do a comparison between a 90 kg male who's wishing to maintain muscle mass, maintain his current weight, who trains 6 times a week, and a female client who's wishing to lose 5 kg and is currently at 60 kg and who trains 3 times a week. Okay, so that's what we're going to go through now. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got a macronutrient calculator lined out. As you'll see along the left-hand side of the page here, just where I'm scrolling, we have a certain number of metrics that we need to fill in. Along the right-hand side, you'll see the activity levels, which we need to fill in here. And here's the data that's going to be spitted out to us, okay? So for our 27-year-old male, who's 90 kg, whose height is 180 centimeters, whose activity level is moderately active. So we'll scroll over here and we'll see what moderately active means. So I enter that value. We want this guy to eat 2 grams of protein per kg of body weight so that he can help his muscles recover between sessions. And here's the big one. Okay, so this person that we're talking about likes to eat high carbohydrate, okay? So doesn't really like eating fat. Fat doesn't agree with his stomach. He feels a little bit bloated afterwards, doesn't feel he has as much energy, so he likes to eat higher carbohydrate. So when we go into the grams per kg of body weight here, for this man, we're going to go with 0.6 grams per kg of body weight, okay? If this guy preferred to eat higher fat and lower carbohydrate, we'd bring that value up to 1 gram per kg of body weight, and that'll reduce the amount of carbs that he's going to eat. And if we go with lower fat, it'll increase the amount of carbs he's going to eat here. Okay, so for this guy, again, as I said, going with 0.6 grams of fat per kg of body weight. So when we look at his, again, we said he was going to focus on maintenance. So that's giving us close to 3,000 calories per week or per day, of maintenance calories. Okay, that works out 180 grams of protein, 54 grams of fat, and 433 grams of carbohydrate, which can seem very high, but bear in mind that's on a training day, and this is somebody who trains 6 times per week. Okay, so they need a lot of food in their body to help their body refuel so they can keep at the current level that they're at. Okay, if we look over here then for somebody, so next we're going to look at somebody who's a 35-year-old female. Current body weight is 60 kg, but she has a fairly realistic goal that she wants to lose 5 kg. So we're going to put in her goal body weight as 55 kg. Her height, we're going to put in as 165 centimeters. Her activity level, so as we had said in the PowerPoint presentation, she's lightly active. She trains 3 times per week. She's a fairly sedentary job, so we're going to put her in as 1.375 from the value here. Again, for almost everybody, we're going to recommend 2 grams per kg of body weight for protein. Okay. For this lady, she likes to eat higher fat and lower carbohydrate, so we're going to enter hers as 1 gram per kg of body weight of fat. Okay. So again, that's bringing it down to personal preference. Okay. And because she's trying to lose weight, this spits out her calories as 1,455 calories for the day. Okay, so again, 2 grams per kg of body weight works out as 110 grams of protein, 440 calories. For fat, it spits it out as 55 grams of fat with 495 calories coming from fat, and 130 grams of carbs with 520 calories coming from carbohydrate. Okay, if you're somebody who really likes to eat fat, you could alter this again to bring that up to 1.2 grams per kg body weight of fat, and you'll see the difference that makes here. This lady can now go up to 66 grams of fat per day and down to 100 grams of carbs. So I advise most people not to go below the 100 grams of carbs per day, and that's probably an acceptable level for the 3. So you can go as high as 1.2 grams per kg of body weight of fat, but I wouldn't go any higher. So vary yourself between 0.6 and 1.2 depending on how fat satisfied you are by what you eat in any given day. So that's the main bulk of what I've wanted to go through today. The next thing we look at over the coming weeks is having a look at how we use MyFitnessPal. I know most people have used it before, but just have another quick look at it so people are really clear on how to use it, how simple it can be to use, and how beneficial it can be. If anybody has any questions, again, as always, feel free to give me a shout or just post any comments on the Facebook group. It'd be great. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.